Sup, folks? This is Dan from Discern. Welcome to episode 16 of the Discern Recap. Hope you're doing well. Hope things are going well for you. Welcome to the show. On this show, each week I bring you a selection of recommendations, my favorite albums, EPs, or singles from the broad category of Christian music. New episodes of this show release every Wednesday. And if you feel drawn to, please subscribe to the channel. I'm here every week. If you want to stay up on the new episodes, subscribing is the best way to do that. If you want to reach out and make your voice heard, you can comment below this video. You could tweet at me, at discernreviews. You could send me an email, discernreviews@gmail.com. There were a massive amount of new releases that dropped last Friday, the 22nd. I seriously could not get through all of them. Just too much sometimes. I actually tweeted a few days ago that I'm pretty sure this week has the most new releases of any week so far this year. So that's my excuse for not getting my ears on everything this week. But I checked out at least 80% of it, at least 80% of what I could find, and I do have some recommendations. But if you're listening and you think, hey, you butthead, you didn't even mention the best new album, EP, or single, which is fill in the blank. Well, then speak up, buddy. Share it below. Let me and all the other viewers know. Let us in on the fun. This show can be about your recommendations too, you know. So make your voice heard, or at least your thoughts in a lifeless piece of text in a YouTube comment section. It's at least something. It's the best we have. All right, let's move on. Recommendations. Number 1, Rivers and Robots with the single Wait For You. Rivers and Robots is an indie worship band from Manchester, UK. To date, they have released 3 albums and a live EP. They are gearing up to release their newest full-length record, The Eternal Sun. And this new single, Wait For You, is the first track released off this upcoming album. It is quintessential Rivers and Robots. The sound is sunny and coastal, like a relaxing afternoon on the beach. The vocals are airy and light with just a touch of echo and space. The drums and the bass are steadily grooving along, lighthearted, fun. I think the combination of the hazy and sort of weightless vocals with the more grounded and engaging rhythms are what make Rivers and Robots so enjoyable. And on this single, I wasn't wowed by any experimental angles that they were taking or any new musical lane that they were driving in. It's a very straightforward song. Lyrically, melodically, it's very singable, very inviting. It's even very basic in its arrangement. It's just so incredibly pleasant and gently blissful. The lyrics speak of our future as Christians dwelling in heaven with the eternal Son, Jesus. The lyrics and the mood of the song, I think, complement each other really well to perfectly bring out this emotion of carefree peace and joy. I think it walks to a nice balance between those two things, joy and peace. You know, the joy isn't hyper jump up and down ecstasy, and the peace isn't portrayed as ethereal, unattainable tranquility. Both characteristics, I think, are brought to life in this song in very ordinary and frankly realistic ways. Based on the descriptions in the Bible, you know, describing the new heavens and the new earth, I don't expect every day in heaven to be top level, all maxed out praise and worship, or tripped out, dreamy, floating in a sea of perfect balance and unity. I see it as being a life unending, lived in complete freedom, reliance, and worship to Christ, but done so in small things as well, you know, enjoying the new creation, mountain peaks, streams, waterfalls, animals of all sorts, enjoying activities, you know, running, who enjoys that, singing, painting, art of all sorts of forms, all things that we understand as regular on some level. But they'll be made new, they'll be made perfect, free from sin, free from death. And I think this song brings out a feeling of ordinary peace and joy that's really tasteful, really enjoyable. And Rivers and Robots, their new album comes out May 20th. Possibly we'll see more singles before then. I wouldn't know for sure. But I'm greatly anticipating this new release, and this new single will definitely be spinning on occasional repeat until then. So give that one a listen. Links in the description. Moving on, second recommendation, ABIV with the album Without You. ABIV, or ABIV, is an R&B and soul singer and musician from Oceanside, California. He's dropped what might be his debut album here. I have a feeling that this isn't his first time putting his music to tape, if you will, based on his talent and his confidence and the way he speaks about this album on social media. But I can't find any trace of any other albums of his, so maybe, just maybe, this is his debut. It's pretty dang good either way. The fascinating part that I found in this album, the most fascinating part, what grabbed my attention and kept it throughout, is how compartmentalized the sound is. The beats are often on the verge of clunky. They're sort of bumpy with jagged edges. The vocals, though, are very smooth and effortless. And I thought the two come together in a really compatible way. They don't mesh or meld together, but they complement each other. The vocals in this album are heavily R&B and soul inspired. In fact, they sound sort of typical within those genres. But the instrumentation that backs these vocals is anything but ordinary within those genres. The instrumental side it usually takes, I guess, one of two directions. Some songs like Daydreaming or the track Lady or the song Eugene, they have much more of an acoustic guitar focus than I expected. The guitar is the primary instrument, played in sort of a soulful and poppy style, kind of like Jason Mraz or Jack Johnson. And sometimes the song is more low-key and sparse, and other times the more full production and the beats eventually come in. But these songs are really foundationally built on that poppy, bright, sunshiny acoustic guitar. And the other form that the instrumentals take, like on the song Tangerines and Melodies, or Next Time Around, or Back on Course, is a much more hip-hop inspired production with plenty of beat syncopation, experimentation, polyrhythms. It's not to the level of some funk music, but the rhythms here are inventive, they're explorative, and still very structurally sound. Production on this album, by the way, is by Jungle Hype, who is also from California, a producer. On both of these musical fronts, both this acoustic guitar type front and this hip-hop style production, the vocals are just jazzy and soulful as ever, sort of spacey, splattered in reverb, very head in the clouds sort of feel. And I'm amazed that this singular approach to the vocals works so well in both instrumental cases. And on a few tracks, actually, there are short and simple rap features as well, which so naturally fit in with that more beat-oriented sound. Lyrically, most of the lyrics on this album are sappy on the romantic side. Some tracks are about his relationship with God, and others are about a girl. Love is a common theme on this record. But the lyrics, they weren't my favorite aspect of this record. Although the rap features were definitely memorable, clever, eccentric, full of personality. But it's the overall sound and sort of shape that the combination of these vocals and instrumentals have. That's what really affected me. This album is just an unconventional take on R&B. It has plenty of familiar touchstones and characteristics that set it solidly in the R&B camp, but it brings other colors and features into the mix that make it a sound that truly sets itself apart. I think this album takes a few times to settle in as well. It takes a few go-rounds before the surprise and the curiosity sort of what you're hearing turns more into appreciation and comfort. It's not your standard sound. Like on the song Ground Zero, the beat is so off balance and unstable. It's at first not a comfortable, familiar place, while you're listening, but I think over time, that gives the album highs and lows, sort of peaks and valleys, that give you a more hearty, complex listening experience. And I think it's a great album to come back to sort of hear from multiple angles. You could focus in on the gentle, more peaceful aspects. You could focus more on the rough, punchy aspects, or look, even just try to take a step back and feel the whole as one. I definitely recommend this album. Give it a listen. Check out some of the tracks I mentioned. I think this guy is making music in a really unique wavelength, and I really dig it. So check it out. Links below in the description. And here we are, folks, at the end of another show. Thank you for watching the Discern Recap. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel. Subscribing will ensure that you don't miss any new episodes, which release every Wednesday, new episodes every Wednesday. If you have a specific album, EP, or single that you want to recommend, you got some options. You could comment below. You could tweet at me at discernreviews. You could send me an email, discernreviews@gmail.com. If you have something else to say, something about the music I mentioned, the music I didn't mention, something about the show, something about life, something about broccoli, I'm all ears. So reach out, share your thoughts. Anyway, I hope this helped. See ya.